Hello, everyone, and welcome back to All Things Divine, where we heal it, dream it, build it, and we grow it with yours truly, me, Erica Sloan. Today, I wanted to discuss authenticity, being authentic. I want to talk about the people closest to you. Do they really know you, or are they only getting the surface part of you? So we're just going to jump right in. This topic, it may ruffle some feathers, and that's okay, because we are talking about authenticity and being your true self. And if you are not being your true self, you may feel uncomfortable, but that's okay, because we're here. We are going to discuss this and we are going to work through it. So my main question is the people around you. When you think about your core group, it could be a mix of just distant cousins or aunts, whatever the case may be. Your core group may only be family members, or it could be like me, a mix of family and friends, lifelong friends, I say, because I've known them since kindergarten. And I also have some friends that I have not known since kindergarten, but they are definitely in my soul circle. So it could be a mix. Regardless, think about your core group of friends. And when you think about them, ask yourself, do they really know my true authentic self? Or do they know the surface part of me? Do they know the good, bad, and the ugly? And I just really want you just to meditate on that just for a little bit. And while you meditate on that, we're going to give you about 30 seconds and we'll come right back and we'll dive in a little deeper. And welcome back to All Things Divine. I hope that everyone has had a chance to meditate on their core group of people. And the reason why I had you meditate on that is so that you could also just absorb their energy as well, so that it will help you moving forward through what we're about to talk about. The first thing that I want to say is the number one key to moving energy and reaching your highest and true self is just being true to yourself and who you really are. You cannot move energy and reach your highest self if you're only surface, because you have to be able to want to do that work and get to the root of things. And sometimes, you know what, getting to the root of things means that, yes, you are going to have to do some shadow work. And that's a little bit of what we're going to do. It's a little bit of shadow work. It's a little bit of solar plexus work. But we are talking about your authentic self, your identity, your truth. And so, with that being said, I want to tell you two stories. The first story I actually spoke about on our YouTube channel, and I will put that link in the description, so no worries. But also, in case you can't watch the video, that audio is our first podcast, so you can click on the audio as well. So you have it on YouTube where you can watch the video, and then you also have the audio, which is our first episode. But I talked about identity and the solar plexus. And I told a story briefly about watermelon. And it sounds so minor, but it was such a huge thing, because my core people at that time, the people that I was close to, I was surface with. And I was so surface that they didn't even know things about me, like my background, my ancestry. They knew nothing. They only knew really my name, a little bit about my mom and my dad. And I'm telling you, these core people, I was around for over a decade. They didn't even know that my uncle had, he got a full scholarship to a D1 school in Texas. Had no clue. And I'm saying all of this because your core people, there could be a little bit of confusion. And so I'll go a little bit deeper into the watermelon story. So with me kind of giving you the gist of me being around these core people, I was around them every single day. We shared stories. We were, quote unquote family, I guess. They didn't even know who I was. And I created this fictitious person who pretended, because of certain stereotypes that I would hear about, and I wanted to make sure that I was not associated with those stereotypes. So I pretended that I did not like watermelon. Because the story, or the stereotype, is not even a story. It's a ridiculous stereotype that all Black people love watermelon. And it was like a joke. And it wasn't even a funny joke, but I did not want to be associated with that. Watermelon, hello, it's a good fruit. It's a healthy, clean fruit to have. But I was trying to not identify with that stereotype. So they would literally eat watermelon around me, and I would say, oh no, I don't like that. And then there was a big, thing about how, oh my goodness, how can, this Black girl not like watermelon? So you know what? We won't even go too deep into that, but I'm telling you, it's small but big and so ridiculous. Like, just the whole thing. So I pretended that I didn't like certain things that I actually didn't like. And I pretended to be this, I don't even know I guess I would have to say that it was pretend, because that was not my true self. And when I tried to show little bits of my true self, that was not well received. So then I would go back to being that person that they expected for me to be. And it was just so miserable, but that was such a core part of my life that I couldn't comprehend in my mind, or even in my soul, that this is not this is not healthy. So you need to separate yourself so that you can go on the journey of reaching your highest self, because that's truly what you want. Years passed and there was a separation, thankfully. And that's when I started to do my shadow work. And with doing my shadow work, I had to flip the mirror around on myself and realize that I was fake. Like, I was fake as shit, because that same character that I created attracted other crowds that I felt that were my core. And I mean, they were my home girls. We were chilling, but I was so unhappy. And it was still the same situation, to where, no, I didn't pretend with other groups that I did not like watermelon, but I was not being my true self, and I was pretending to like things that they did just to be accepted. And that is where I needed to turn the mirror. Why did I feel like I needed to be receptive? What is the root of that? So again, I spoke about the watermelon story briefly on solar identity and the solar plexus. And I'll go a little bit deeper with that because, I recently did some research on my ancestors, and it really triggered a lot in me to where I was triggered back again to that feeling of feeling fake. And I'm saying that because I have always known that my ancestors were Native American. When you look at me on the surface, I am a Black woman. And hey, I love it. I love the melanin in my skin. I love it. But I always knew that I also had Native American in my family tree. And so I had this really deep discussion with my son about what people see on the outside. And we looked at my family tree and looked at US Census reports, and I was so upset because my family members were 100% Native Americans, and they were forced to say that they were either Black or Negro. And it just triggered me back to the watermelon story and having this stereotype around, and it reminded me of even 2 years ago when George Floyd and everything happened, and I saw online where people were so venomous and they would say, well, if you don't like it here, go back to Africa. And I'm sitting here thinking, I did not come from Africa. I mean, maybe if I go back another 500 years, I'll find something. But I might find one of your ancestors over there too. Okay? So it's like, I felt like I played the part when I should have said, actually, I am a Black American and I'm Native American. And on my grandfather's side, there's actually Italian that mixed with Black American. So I don't know who came to Africa. Maybe you know someone who did. Like, I should have stood up, right? And so it's such a full circle moment of finding all this out, and then also assisting clients and being that channel to assist clients. And they were dealing with identity as well. And we did so much work this far for July with the solar plexus that I've seen. It's like heightened, where I've had to do a lot of solar plexus work with my clients. And I was also doing solar plexus work within myself. So that is the first story that I wanted to tell you, because I really want you to think about your core group, because it could be a situation that I had with having a core group and having my homegirls and just having a blast, but knowing that I was not being my true self. And so when I blocked off that part and shut down a lot of me, I was not able to run energy. I stopped it all because I was, one, making up a character, and then two, again, like I just stated, I stopped that energy from being able to run its course through me, and that eventually materialized into actual health concerns. And some of my physical health concerns, I'll name a few. I did have PCOS. I had my gallbladder taken out. And then also I had stones around my pancreas years later that I had to have surgery to have taken out. Now, I won't go too deep into that because that's all energy. That's all blocking. That's the blocking of your energy and you stopping it from being able to flow, because a physical health concern is energy. And again, we won't go too deep into that, but of course, whether you're in session with me or if you see a video, one of our videos on YouTube, or you hear us on All Things Divine, we will definitely dive deeper into energy and physical ailments. So, moving along, I wanted to tell you about the second story. Once I did my shadow work, I got to the root of things, and it's still a work in progress. Like, you're not just completely healed and you wake up every day and there's unicorns and rainbow and just dust and fairies all around you. That would be amazing. I would love to wake up like that every morning, by the way, but that's not the case. It's just a constant work at evolving and reaching your highest spiritual and true self. And once I got to a certain point, my complete environment just shifted. And I'm just so thankful for it. And now I am my authentic self. If you don't like it, if you just want to kind of look me up and down, that's fine with me. I really don't give a shit. I am my true self, and whoever is in my core, you are in a deep relationship with me because I'm just deep. Look at what I do for a living. I'm a practitioner, an energy healing and medical intuitive practitioner. And I love it. I love to work with people. I love to go deep. And so, of course, naturally, now that I am working to be my true self and I'm in this different environment and I can grow in that environment and we can all recycle energy from each other, it's amazing. And so again, whether you are my mother, my father, any other relative, friend, significant other, you are in a deep relationship with me. I want to know everything. I want you to know everything about me. I want to show you my truth because I believe that if we are all evolving on this high frequency, then we're learning from each other. So I need to show you my true self so that you can check me if I need to be checked. And, I'm definitely going to check you because I'm rooting for you and I want you to reach your highest self too. So this is something really to meditate on as you go throughout your day, your week, whatever the case may be. Who are your core people? Are you blocking your energy or are you allowing yourself to move your energy because you are vibrating high in a group, in an environment where you are all recycling energy and it's just flowing just at a high frequency? You're all learning from each other and you're continuing to elevate. Or, again, you could be having the time of your life, drinking with your friends, having just the best time, and you're okay with not being able to show your true self. And you may be really happy because you have always wanted to fit in with a certain crowd. So the thought of you introducing things that you might like is a little scary. And that is a main root. That is the question that I would ask if I were in session with you. If you have always wanted to fit in this group and you're happy and you're living your best life, why can you not be your authentic self? And we would definitely get into the root of why you want to belong to this particular group. We would do some digging and some grounding and meditating, and we would get to it. And once it was revealed and it got out and you were able to heal from it and unblock that energy and flow, you may go back into that same group and start to really fight for yourself and use that throat chakra and say, hey, no, let's do this, because you may be the pace car for that group. You may be the one that takes them to a higher level. Who knows? But the point is that we're going to get to the root of it. Did you create a fictional character like I did? Do you have certain blockages and just you not even getting to express yourself fully? Do you feel like this anger inside? We can get to the root of that at All Things Divine. And we have so many channels now on our website, on our YouTube channel. We now have our podcast. We're going to reach you and we are going to do this work. Like I said, we heal it, dream it, build it, and we grow it at Divine Sai. So again, I want for you to really do some homework. And we can go on this journey together. But just know that if you go on this journey, the number one key to moving energy and reaching your highest self is that you have to be true to yourself. We don't have a Facebook version of All Things Divine. We have authenticity. And we want to help you get to the root and be your true self and vibrate at a high frequency. So thank you for tuning in, and I will see you on the next episode. Have a great week.